Hey everybody. Last weekend we decided to run over to Michigan to give Griffey a little bit of a homecoming. We decided to head over to US131 Motorsports Park and hit up a couple test days on Thursday and Friday leading into the Michigan Mayhem event to run the all-steel, all-glass class on Saturday. We left pretty early on Wednesday morning and ended up venturing from Minnesota over through Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, and up to Michigan. We were able to get a good night's sleep on Wednesday and get ready for testing on Thursday. We had been looking forward to this outing for a little bit of a time as we knew that US 131 would have an absolute premium surface and we'd be able to really put the power to the ground early and hopefully set some personal bests. We ended up going up for a second hit because we couldn't find anything wrong after getting back to the pits after the first hit. But as soon as we let go of the button, we had the fuel pressure issue that occurred again, and this time was within 1/2 a second. Over the next few hours, we had spent many times re-engaging the fuel cable after we had cut the end of it off, trying to lengthen the cable into the adapter. Each time didn't seem to work. We'd get up to the staging lanes and then the car would just lose fuel pressure. We were becoming overly frustrated based off of traveling about 8 hours to the racetrack and not being able to source an additional cable to run, as well as not being able to make this existing cable work. Kenny and another guy, Eric, up in Michigan there, really dug into this and spent all afternoon MacGyvering a situation to put this together and eventually got the car running at about 6 p.m., giving us about an hour prior to the close of the private test. So at this point, we decided to get a little aggressive with the tune-up, seeing that we wanted to try to set out some personal goals and everything. Kenny had grabbed the laptop and punched a few up arrows, I would say, and loaded the tune in the car. He more or less said, "Hey, I got the right tune-up for you. Go out there and make a hit." So we went up to the lanes, and sure enough, we didn't end up losing fuel pressure. So sure enough, on test hit number 3 on Thursday, the up arrows that we hit and the aggressiveness led us into a pretty monster wheelie that was starting. I believe wheelie control was catching it, but I also didn't want to risk anything for the rest of the week and ended up aborting that pass and came down pretty easy. We didn't cause any damage, so that was good. One of the things that I'd looked forward to about coming to Michigan was actually testing the track surface with the track meter that we have. Prior to coming up to Michigan, we had never pulled anything higher than about a 360 to 370, and those are just the types of surfaces that we typically race on up in the upper Midwest. We knew going to US 131 that the surface would be a premium, and about a half hour after racing commenced on Thursday evening, we went up to the starting line, and it ended up pulling a 460 that long after racing had ended. So after quite the long day on Thursday and pretty much being beat down and to the point that we thought we were going to pack up and take off and head home, we came back Friday with a new plan and again trying to get back to making consistent passes and going quicker and quicker. It didn't take long before the rain had set in. We were only able to get one test pass in before it started raining in the early afternoon, which delayed everything until about 6:30, 7 o'clock that evening. After the rain had stopped, the track had been dried off and got back into tip-top shape. We were able to make 3 more passes on Friday evening to prepare for Saturday. One of those 3 passes was a decent hit, and here's a video of that. Saturday came around and we felt like we were ready for race day. We still haven't been to where we wanted to be on the trip based off of how fast the car was running, but we still felt very fortunate based off of the car just being able to run and get down the track. So we had a driver's meeting at around 11 a.m. and the track was still open from about noon to 2 in order to make some test passes. As you can see, the first test pass on Saturday went very well, which this really raised spirits going into the race day. We decided to get a little more aggressive just to see what the track may hold and to go up and make our second test pass of Saturday prior to eliminations. Test pass 2, we were able to get a really solid launch with the car, but as it decided to continue to carry the tires, it was driving a little bit out of the groove and towards the wall. And again, seeing that it was a test pass, there was no reason to risk anything. We had gotten out of it and aborted that pass, but it sure led to some amazing photographs from different photographers at the racetrack that day. During the drivers' meeting, we had drawn for first round between the 8 cars that were out there. Every car in the field was an absolute heavy hitter and should always be taken seriously. There wasn't any ducks in this field. For round 1, we had drawn Scott Gilbert in his gray Foxbody. Scott and I had a few battles in the past from back in the Cordova and Havana days. I didn't obtain any video of the first round of eliminations against Scott, but we were able to squeak out a victory. We got a little bit of a hole shot taken off, and it was about a half a car to 3/4 of a car all the way down the track. For round 2 of eliminations, we were matched up with Tom Hirsch and his primer black Foxbody. I believe Tom is from the Milan area and lives just outside the track, which I was extremely jealous of. early in the pass and wasn't able to make a clean run. So we'll have to look to the next time for us to have a race together. With the second round win of eliminations, that put us in the finals. And again, we had an extremely tough competitor in Sean Simpson and his twin turbocharged gray Foxbody. Sean and I were in the middle of a great battle down track when his car got a little bit loose and drove towards the center line, collecting the 330 cone, I believe it was. I was glad to see that he was able to make a great save with the car, especially after watching some of the videos. I was able to see some of it in my peripheral vision and was just glad that there was no damage and everybody was safe in the run. And I really want to say thank you for aborting that pass. Just because, again, I know that there's a lot of people that are out there wouldn't have, and we just don't know where that would have led to between two cars being so close down track.
It's like you said, there's nothing you can't do in a race car.
We won. We won. Now, can you walk? Or am I gonna have to carry you?
Where to?
Victory Lane.
Yeah. Walk. Hell, man. I'll race your ass.
I want to give a huge shout out to Samuel Peterson for the racing service that he provided, as well as being able to take the time out and helping me out on the starting line and getting me lined up during the races. It's unbelievable how hard this fella worked over the couple days that we were there. He went nonstop the entire weekend, and I just want to thank him and his US131 crew, as well as Jimmy Bradshaw for coming out and putting the race on. It was an absolute blast, and I'm already looking forward to the next one.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Dad and I ended up driving throughout the entire night, all the way home, and getting home at about 5:30 that morning. It never felt so great to be able to climb into bed that morning. Again, I just want to give a huge shout out to Kenny Dangler for his taking a couple days off of work and coming down and providing trackside support with us, as well as extremely digging deep when we were beat down the most, and was able to cobble this fuel cable together that we thought we were absolutely dead in the water. It was truly just amazing how much he dug into it with the help of Eric Stevens as well. I can't thank these guys enough for really saving our trip and being able for us to do what we were hoping to do, is to go out and try to go fast on a premium surface, in which the overall end result from the weekend was just, again, it left me pretty much speechless. It was a lot of fun, and again, I can't wait to get back to Michigan. But stay tuned for more. We should be out with more racing this year, and I will try to do some more of these voiceovers and provide some commentary to the passes to try to make this more interesting.